How could a story be complete without a villain? Well, there was a villain in my story too. Don't worry, dear readers. He was just a side character. It was a fine winter day when I noticed Arya and her friends engaged in a serious discussion. Honestly, seeing those people so serious always gave me goosebumps. Curious, I walked over and asked, "What's going on here?" Everyone froze and exchanged uneasy glances. Frustrated, I said, "Come on, someone's got to tell me what's happening." One of Arya's friends nudged her and said, "You tell him." Arya shook her head nervously, saying, "No, I can't. I'm afraid." "You tell him." I stayed quiet for a moment, watching them murmur among themselves. Finally, Sayu, the sharpest of Arya's friends, broke the silence. She revealed that a man, about 22 years old and working at a mechanic shop, had been following Arya. Sayu explained that one day the man had approached her, asking personal questions about Arya. He had even commented on Arya's beauty and insisted on knowing more about her. Sayu, being clever and brave, refused to give him any information. She warned him that she would report him to the police if he didn't stop. But the man was stubborn and started following Arya almost daily. One day, he even tried to approach her directly, scaring her so much that she ran all the way home. Hearing this, I smiled at Arya and teased, "You should be happy someone's so obsessed with your beauty." But deep down, I felt annoyed, no, furious. My anger boiled to the point that I thought my head would explode. Still, this wasn't some movie where I could just fight the guy, nor did I have the strength to take on a 22-year-old stranger who might even have a gang. I was just a high school student, but there was one thing I could do. I wasn't going to let Arya face this alone. From that day onward, I made it a point to walk home with her, staying a few meters behind because, well, I was too shy to walk directly beside her. The man must have noticed us together because he never followed her again. Arya felt safer, and I felt relieved knowing I could help in my small way. A few days later, another remarkable incident occurred. I was on my way to a friend's house when I noticed someone waving at me. It was Arya, standing with her father. I waved back and greeted her with a casual hi. Her father, however, smiled warmly at me, which caught me off guard. Feeling slightly embarrassed, I gave him a sheepish smile and hurried on my way. Later, I called Arya and asked, "Why was your father smiling at me? Does he know me already?" She replied, "Of course he knows you. I told him about you." "What did you tell him?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. With a smile, she said, "I told him there's a boy in my class who's very talented, great at both studies and sports. And, of course, I told him your name." That day, I realized what Arya's parents thought of me. Their opinion meant the world to me, and I silently vowed never to disappoint them.